Devin Moran started on the pole, took the lead from the very get-go, and never looked back. Put on an absolute dominant performance on Friday night here at Eldora, the second night for the Dream. Before we get to this, I'd like to ask you, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss any of our future videos here at John Trent Racing. So let's get right into this here. Here is the beginning of the race. Moran just launches like a rocket, leaves the entire field behind. Let's take a look here. Coming to the green flag. There it is. And a little bit of rubbing there with Tyler Erb, but you can see getting down into turn one, he's already putting a couple car lengths in between him and Turbo. Dale McDowell, Jonathan Davenport there. He had a rocket ship and he sailed away. About 12 laps into the race, Moran really kind of started getting into some lap traffic. Had a hard time getting around Jason Fager here. Took him a couple laps to get around him, and that allowed Davenport to kind of close a little bit and maybe challenge him for the lead. But once he got around them, he did kind of pull away. You can see there Davenport is indeed closing as he kind of gets stuck in this lap traffic here. Fager really kind of gave him a really tough time to get around because he kind of took that high lane that Moran really wanted to kind of run. Fager living up to his nickname there, the high side hustler. But really wasn't any really kind of challenge there, but he did kind of close in a little bit. Maybe close. I think he got into like maybe 5 or 6 car lengths there. So there was some interesting stuff going on there. Most of the racing was kind of in the back. There was a really good race between Tyler Erb and Brandon Sheppard. They're going back and forth for a couple of laps. Let's kind of jump to that right here. So you can see here, they're really going at it. Sheppard really found something on the top side, especially later in the race, which we'll get to. But he was really trying to wield on the top side here. But you can see they were just trading sliders, kind of not really trading sliders, I guess, but trying different lines with each other. Turbo getting a good run on the outside there. Sheppard trying to peak in the inside. And then Sheppard going to the outside here in turns 1 and 2, where Turbo kind of running more of a middle line. But they were really duking it out there for a couple of laps. Some really, really good racing. We would have a caution for Ryan Gustin with about 29 laps to go. He blew a right rear tire, and he was running in 9th, so really kind of ruined his night. He ended up finishing last. Was unable to repair his car. Looked like he got into the wall as well. Lots of damage to the back of that car. We didn't get a replay, so we don't know exactly what happened, but he said that he thinks he just blew a right rear tire and really big damage to the car. And this was kind of the only time where Jonathan Davenport really kind of gave Moran a run for his money on this restart. Let's take a look at this here. You can see Davenport really getting up in the top line. Moran kind of running through the middle, and then Moran drifts up down the backstretch and kind of gives Davenport a little bit of a tap there, closes that line off so he's unable to kind of get around him. He still tries to get on the outside here, but Moran kind of took his line away, and Davenport's car just was not as good following that. So I don't know if it kind of maybe did something to the suspension there or not, but he would fade a little bit, going back as far as 5th, but I think he rallied for a 4th place finish after Nick Hoffman kind of got stuck on the bottom behind some lap traffic. He was able to take advantage of that, get around him on the top. The best racing, though, was for 2nd place for like 10 laps. We had a race for 2nd place between the Mac Daddy, Dale McDowell, Jonathan Davenport, and Sheppard. This was great. Like, they raced like this for 10 laps. Sheppard was really cooking on the outside, as I said earlier. You had Dale McDowell kind of running that like lower line and through the middle, and then Davenport was kind of trying to find something. He was kind of moving around quite a bit, but you can see here Sheppard was really getting huge runs coming out of turn 3 and 4. Look at that. He gets huge runs, but he wasn't able to sustain it in 1 and 2. He was really able to do it in 3 and 4. And you can see here, McDowell's able to really kind of close the gap, and he just doesn't have the run off of 1 and 2 that he does have in 3 and 4. But really, really good stuff here. And they did this, like I said, for around 10, maybe even 15 laps. It was the best racing of the night. Moran is checked out. I think he's at like a 3-second lead. He was so dominant. I think he lapped Ashton Winger on the last lap, and he was in 13th place. So there were only 12 cars left on the lead lap by the end of the race tonight. Let's take a look at the finishing order. Obviously, Devin Moran came home with the win. Dale McDowell was in second. Brandon Shepard in third. Jonathan Davenport, as I said, was able to get back around Nick Hoffman for fourth after Hoffman got stuck behind a couple of lap cars there on the bottom. Yeah, he chose to go to the bottom instead of going up to the top. Ricky Weiss came home in sixth, up 7 spots. Hoffman up 6. Stormy Scott finished in 7th. Garrett Smith was 8th, faded 4 spots. Jimmy Owens, I think he's your hard charger, moved up 14 spots, had to race his way in a last chance qualifier race. Started at the rear of the field and moved up 14 spots. So that's a really good job for Jimmy Owens moving up like that. Devin Gilpin finished in 10th. He also moved up 8 spots. Tyler Erb just didn't have it in the feature. Dropped back 9th. Started on the outside of the front row and faded to 11th. Garrett Alberson in 12th. Ashton Winger, as I said, was in 13th. He did go a lap down there right at the very end, finishing in 13th place. Cody Overton in 14th. Billy Moyer Sr. finished in 15th. Trent Ivey faded as well, dropped 11 positions, ended up in 16th. Spencer Hughes in 17th, up 4. Austin Smith in 18th. Jason Fager in 19th. Brian Shirley 20th. Ryan Payne 21st. Jason Jameson 22nd. Mike Marlar dropped 15 spots. I think he lost the most spots there, finishing in 23rd. Unclear what exactly happened. It definitely, based on this here, looks like he parked it, brought it in early, but don't know what exactly happened. I don't think they even said it on during the race or anything like that. And then Gustin finishing in 24th. So that rounds out the feature for the second night at the Dream. And I think this sets the stage for tomorrow night. Obviously, I think the favorite is still probably Bobby Pierce. If he gets the oil cooling finished, he looks just so dominant in that first night. But so did Devin Moran. Devin Moran looked really dominant here tonight, too. So obviously, I think those two guys probably going to be the favorite. You've got Ricky Thornton Jr. as well, who won on night one last night. So look for him to be a threat as well. He's always a threat. Really, usually kind of closes in at the end. So I think those guys are the three most likely to challenge for the win. I think Davenport, he's obviously like Mr. Eldora. He will probably figure out what was happening, maybe fix whatever happened, maybe that damage that he had with Devin Moran, maybe that did something, I don't know. That's purely my speculation. He gets that fixed, and he becomes a threat. We know that we know that Davenport can do that. He did that at Lucas Oil, I feel like, just a couple of weeks ago. Had an off night in one of the preliminary nights that then came back and just absolutely dominated the main Saturday night race. So expect him to be a threat. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow night. Should be a really good race, and it's going to be exciting. But congratulations to Devin Moran bringing home the win tonight in the second preliminary feature for the Dream. So let me know what you guys made of the race. Let me know in the comments below.